Hey, what's up, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And I'm willing to bet that if you're watching this, so are you. I'm willing to bet that in some way, shape, or form, you enjoy using, carrying, and or fidgeting with something that looks a little bit like this. Maybe not exactly like this because, let's be honest, the Spyderco Smock is a weird knife. Most Spyderco knives are, and they're all still insanely popular. Whether it's something that's made of 8CR13 MOV or M390, chances are you have a Spyderco in your collection or are at least considering one. In that journey of considering one, there's a lot of great options, and honestly, I don't think that you can go wrong. This one is highly contentious. Some people love it, some people hate it, as you can tell if you were to watch my video on the Spyderco Smock, which I will link up there. Somewhere. The link will be somewhere up there. That being said, another knife that you will come across if you're looking at Spydercos is the Manix 2. The Manix 2 is another knife which is highly lauded, but it lives in the basement. It lives in Spyderco's basement because you're going to get a lot of opinions like, you should buy a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, or you should buy a Para 3. I do have a video on the latter. Check out my channel if you want to see it, guys. I'm not going to link it above. But this isn't about that. This is for you who doesn't necessarily want to buy a Para 3, or maybe you already have a Paramilitary 2 and you need another knife for your collection and you want a different Spyderco, or maybe you just look at those knives and you're like, I don't like the Pelican face, but Manix 2 has a blade shape that might work, or you know what, I really like the idea of the Spyderco Smock because the handle scales look slimmer and it looks a little bit more normal. Maybe that kid has a future. This video is for you. At the end of it, I'm going to ask you to vote in the comments section down below. That's right. This time, my opinion doesn't matter. I'm going to give you the facts. And then I want you to vote in the comments section down below. And whichever knife wins will be the next Spyderco that I modify. And I'll do another video on that. Might throw something in there for you as well, if this video is successful, which it will only be if we go on to the next part. Let's go into an overhead view and check out these knives head to head. Let's go. All right, and we're back. So we're going to get into why we should modify either the Spyderco Manix 2 or the Spyderco Smock. For the record, I like both of these knives. I just happen to be in a dilemma where I don't know which one I actually want to modify first / next. I'm not made of money, so I need your help to help me decide which one I should pick. I want you to think about this as we go through the video and then comment down below with either Smock or Manix based on your vote. Whichever vote wins will be the knife that I modify next. And just so you know, what I'm planning on modifying is going to be things like the handle scales and the pocket clip. I may do something additional if there's extra mods available that catch my fancy, but that's going to be the gist of it. I also think that doing the hardware couldn't hurt either. If we pick the Spyderco Smock, something that's on the list is going to be new bearings, and I will probably also take out the second detent. So, first and foremost, we can't talk about why I would choose to do a head-to-head against these two knives without talking about their specs. Here's how they're similar. The Smock has an overall length of 7.92 inches or 201 millimeters, and the Spyderco Manix 2 has an overall length of 8.3 inches or 204 millimeters. Very similar. The blade steel on both of these is S30V, And the blade length themselves for the Spyderco Manix 2 is going to be 3.37, while on the Smock it's 3.39. They both have atrocious pocket clips, and they both have lanyard holes in entirely the wrong place. So yeah, let's talk about what I like in both of these knives. For the Spyderco Smock, I really like the fact that even though it's the same compression lock as always, the way that you engage it is different. They say this is not a button lock, but guys, it's a button lock. It's just a compression button lock. Vice versa, if we're talking about the locking system, we have to mention the ball bearing system in this Spyderco Manix 2. There are knife lock test videos on YouTube that show just how strong this is. This ball bearing lock is in fact the strongest lock that Spyderco makes. Yes, even stronger than their back lock, if you would believe that. Now, something that doesn't matter to me at all, but might matter to you, is that this one was made here in the United States, and that one was made in Taichung, Taiwan. On one hand, I really enjoy the fact that by buying from Spyderco, I know that their headquarters is in Golden, Colorado, and that supports a local company, which is great. That being said, the Taichung, Taiwan factory is the factory they use to make their highest quality knives, period. If it's a stock factory Spyderco, chances are that if it has titanium scales and costs $400 or $500, it's probably made in the Taichung, Taiwan factory. This is the factory that's known to have the best tolerances and the best quality of work that Spyderco can provide. Let's talk about fidget factor. This one is not as fidgety as this one. And it's not meant to be. This one is meant to be more of a user. And you can tell because, unlike the Smock, this one actually has a choil that makes sense. There is full jimping on this finger choil right there, which means that you can get an excellent pinch grip, especially since there's jimping right behind the rise on the spine of the blade. You can grip it like this and get an insanely good grip on this knife. You cannot do that with this Smock, okay? Like, yes, there's jimping there, but that's more of a sawtooth jimping. And let's be honest, that choil is there out of necessity because when the blade swings shut, it's got to make room for those posts right there. They didn't put that choil in there because they're like, yeah, you know what? People could choke up on this knife. That could be good. No, the blade itself kind of comes in at a sharp 90-degree angle, which is not entirely comfortable for fingers. I can feel the edge of that blade digging in to my fat fingers. And guys, I'm not a fan of that. But I see why we have to have that there, because if we like this button lock compression lock thing, it's got to make room for those two posts right there. So I get it. It's a necessity. Talking about ease of use, this Spyderco Smock is possibly the easiest, most fun knife that I have when it comes to deployment, and that includes my Spyderco Para 3. I'm not doing a head-to-head between those two knives, though. That will probably come later. And I've already modified my Spyderco Para 3, as you can see here. So I don't really need to. But yeah, the blade shape. This is a sheep's cliff, modified reverse Tonto, whatever. This knife and this blade shape is easy to maintain, whether you're going to be sharpening it or just stropping it to maintain that edge. Because it has a very non-aggressive swell to the belly of the blade, that makes it easy to sharpen. It's not that this one isn't easy to sharpen. As you can tell, I put a polished edge on this bad boy and it cuts and slices like a dream. But this one does have a bit more of a belly. It's a bit more of a harpoon shape, if you will. and it's just a wider blade profile. If we're talking about weight, the Spyderco Manix 2 weighs almost a full, let's see, the Spyderco Manix 2 weighs about an ounce more than the Spyderco Smock, which is crazy considering that this one technically has a bigger blade, or rather it's not bigger, it's just longer. Don't listen to your female friends. The length does matter. Specifically about knives, it also matters how you use it. Just saying. Now, do any of those opinions give the edge to one over the other? See what I did there? I don't know. And that's why I need your help. There is fantastic things about both of these knives which make me want to carry them more. But I know that I will carry them more if I enjoy them more. And not that they need it, but I know that I personally will enjoy them more if I replace the handle scales and I replace the pocket clip on both of them. Might add backspacer. If we pick the Manix 2, I might also go ahead and change out these plastic lock buttons for metal ones, because why not? It's already heavy in its stock format. What's another few ounces? Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, the only way you can do so at this point in time is by using my Amazon links in the description below, where I will consequently have both of these knives listed. So please, if you want one of these for yourself, and today is the day that you make that happen, use my links below. That helps me out a lot, and it's going to help me create more content down the line. I'm looking forward to your comments and your votes. If you want to vote for the Manix, type Manix or include Manix in your comment. If you want to vote for the Smock, type Smock or include Smock in your comment. Super easy. I'm excited to see what you say. And guys, I will see you in the next video.